Welcome to the Warlords of Draenor Basic Raid Prep series by LOS Gaming. Today in our line of sight is Imperator Mar'gok. This is a long fight, so let's get right down to business. The key to defeating the Grand Imperator is to understand his 5 abilities and how they change throughout the fight. He has Mark of Chaos, which is a tank debuff, which will cause them to explode doing damage to anyone within 35 yards.
Arcane Wrath, a debuff which will deal damage and jump to a new target within range when it expires. It deals more damage but loses range each jump.
Arcane Aberration, an add which will AoE your raid.
Destructive Resonance, a trap which lasts 1 minute and will explode if someone steps in it.
And Force Nova, which does damage as you pass through it.
These 5 abilities will receive a themed augmentation during each new rune phase. The augmentation will expire when he empowers a new rune. Mar'gok has 3 rune phases split by 2 intermissions.
During the first 2 rune phases, you will want to tank Mar'gok in the center, with the ranged group stacked on the outer circle. As each new trap spawns, the ranged group will rotate together. Have a set point for the tanks to run when they get marked. The add will be priority when it spawns, so make sure to take it down fast.
Assign someone to drop off Arcane Wrath. Position them just outside the range group. When someone receives the 4th stack of Wrath, run it out to the person who then quickly moves away to a safe distance to drop it off.
Make sure you run through Force Nova quickly and use a class-specific ability to bypass the damage altogether.
The first rune phase begins at 85%, and the theme of this phase is Displacement. His 5 abilities will now affect your movement.
The dangerous changes are Arcane Wrath only allowing you to move 10 yards. If you have the debuff when a trap is placed, be sure not to run too far or else you'll be sucked back into the trap. Tanks, you will be teleported when you get marked, so just be sure to run away. As long as you hold the positioning, the tactics to deal with the other abilities remain the same.
At 55%, the first intermission will begin. With it comes 2 War Mages and a bunch of little arcane adds. Tank the anomalies in the center of the room. The War Mages will fixate on random targets, so they don't need to be tanked. Interrupting the first cast after a new fixate will give the target time to move away from the group. The little adds explode on death, so assign a DPS to focus 1 down at a time while the rest of the raid kills the mages.
The theme of the second rune phase is Fortification. His abilities will now have a bit more staying power. Mark of Chaos will now root your tank, have your off-tank taunt and drag the boss out to the ranged group with melee following. Get back to position after the explosion. You're going to have to wait until the 8th stack of Arcane Wrath to drop it off during this phase. With almost twice the health, DPS are really going to need to be ready to take down the add fast. As long as you hold the positioning, the tactics to deal with the other abilities remain the same.
You're going to have to deal with 1 additional Ogre during this intermission. You have a lot to kill before the final phase, so pop Bloodlust. If you tank the Reaver where he enters the room, he won't be buffed by the mages. Take the Reaver down fast, kill the War Mages, and again, be careful not to kill yourself by AoEing down too many anomalies at a time. Remember to move away if you get fixated by the mages.
The transition from the second intermission to the final rune phase is the most hectic part of the fight. As long as you make it through cleanly, you are on your way to a kill. Replication is the theme of this final phase, and for the first time, your raid is going to want to spread out. As you pass through the Force Nova, you will now AoE anyone within 4 yards. You still want a place for your tanks to drop off Mark of Chaos. During this rune phase, orbs will shoot out of them when they explode. Be sure to dodge them. Stay away from traps. When the aberration dies, it will now split into 7 baby adds. Keep a level head and you will topple this Gorian dynasty.
This has been Tovo
and Tatva with 3-minute tips by Line of Sight Gaming. Please like and subscribe and check out our other videos by clicking on any of these links.